Alright, so we're going to talk about Deadpool now. We'll start off spoiler free. In case you've not seen it, we'll have a little brief discussion of what we felt without spoilers, and then we'll probably go head in. So we'll give you a warning. There'll be the wall, as it were. Um, so first up, then. Actually, before we even say what we thought of the movie, did people care beforehand? Like, who was excited for this?
I'm not sure if
Yeah,
excited is the word, but I enjoyed the marketing enough that I wanted to see the film.
Right, okay, but you're not a long-time Deadpool fan or
Oh no,
anything
no.
like that. Same for you, Matt.
I've,
Yeah.
I've I have a friend in the comic book shop that is like a legit Deadpool fan. That's been following since he premiered in the '90s. Who was really excited. Um, but yeah, I don't care. I didn't care until the Comic Con footage made its way out that had the extended sequence of T.J. Miller and him, describing what he looks like. Like Freddy Krueger had sex with a open faced pizza and shit like that. So, but yeah, it's. I got more excited when I saw Colossus was in it. Because it was actually tying to X-Men, which was cool. Instead of being a standalone.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I guess before we get to any sort of spoilers, then we'll just say that I I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it
Hmm.
by any means. I thought the humor was very good. It was very funny. The jokes, for the most part, worked quite well. Um, but I didn't think a lot of the rest of it really was up to much. The villain was very weak. The plot was mostly, pretty weak. Um, the origin story stuff that was told mostly in flashbacks actually bogged it down quite a bit. By the time we actually get to the point where we stop getting flashbacks to the origin, we're probably a good 60-70% into the movie.
Yeah, it's about two
Yeah.
thirds through.
Yeah. Uh, which makes it
Although I kind
feel.
of like that approach versus just giving us it straight.
Well,
You
no,
know.
I would agree if the backstory was more interesting, but to be honest, this was so kind of dull and bog standard for me that I really wish they'd sped it up and just like bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, and go have fun. You know, it really
Could have
slowed
had a
things down for me.
countdown of the bullet points.
Yeah, there could have been. Um, so spoiler free, what did you think, Matt?
I'm along the same lines as you, as I saw a lot of hype going in. And I think what happens, a lot of people thought it was going to be shit. And when it wasn't, critics included, it's like, oh wow, it actually, was enjoyable. So it ends up, getting, pushed pretty high, which didn't set my expectations for it high. And I was pretty disappointed by it. Um, Although I thought Peter was being, because he saw it, before I did. So I thought he was being kind of harsh on it. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh no, he's actually right with a lot of the stuff. And we differ on humor pretty much. And so when you said some of the humor didn't land, I just thought, oh, difference of the humor. And it was like, no. I felt a lot of the funny stuff happened in the trailers, you know, and everything else was kind of moderately funny. So I just felt
No,
like it was,
there was a few good references that I did really like, and I'll get to them in the
yeah,
spoiler half. But Connor,
yeah.
what did you think, spoiler free?
I enjoyed it a lot more than you guys. I will say I agree there are definitely problems, especially parts of the origin stuff. Not all of it, but definitely parts.
Mm.
But as for the plot and the villain, I went in expecting this just to be a comedy. And most of my favorite comedies are stuff like Monty Python, where I don't give a fuck about the plot. I don't care about anything. I just want to laugh. And so on that front, this worked for me a lot.
Yeah. Nah, most of my favourite comedies, and I would argue that this isn't supposed to just be a comedy. This is meant to be
Right.
more than that.
Well, and it's its own type of thing though too, because it's a superhero action comedy with romance elements, which I appreciate that that tries to be something different, despite having the basic origin story and whatnot. And he even addresses that in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
where he talks to the audience. He's like, "Hey, you came in and your boyfriend said that this was a superhero movie. Why is he killing the shit out of people?" You
I
know?
I think for me, like a lot of the opening, like there's opening titles at the start that basically are pretty funny because they instead of like telling you the characters or the actors, it kind of tells you what they are in the movie in a very meta way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. Um, and that was very funny to me, but it doesn't really excuse the fact that a lot of it ended up just being exactly true. Like,
Yeah.
He is just the bog
Generic
standard
British
villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is the CGI character. This is like it felt very much like it just pointing out is funny and all, but it doesn't excuse just going ahead and doing it anyway, and
Right.
thinking that still makes it entertaining. Like that doesn't. It didn't work for me. in that sense.
Yeah, like I said, because I was expecting it and treating it as a comedy, I wasn't really expecting much from the superhero side or the romance side, so I didn't really care about any of those going in. I was like, I want this to make me laugh.
Well, that's fine, but some of us have standards, and
As standards, I just wanted it to be funny, and it was.
that's not enough for me. All my favorite comedies all have more going on than that.
Nah. See, for me, just making me laugh, that's enough.
I guess I'm in the middle. I wanted more out of this that wasn't, which is stupid on my part because again, it is Deadpool. But again, I saw all the critical praise coming out.
Yeah, the critical praise really surprises me. Like this had a way higher tomato meter than I would have ever thought it did after seeing it.
Yeah, I expect it to be lower, and I enjoyed it.
And also, I went to see it with my wife and one of our friends, and they both really enjoyed it. They were laughing more than I was on stuff, which is good.
My girlfriend really enjoyed it as well. To be fair, the jokes are so rapid fire. There's so many that some of them you're not gonna like. That's just it when there's that many. But I feel like I liked a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
I like some of the obscure references, and I'll get into them in a second. But we'll wrap up the spoiler-free section. I think it's definitely worth seeing. I don't think it's a bad movie, but for me, it felt like if you take out the humor, right? The humor's very modern because like the fact that this is R-rated and the fact that they're actually doing all this meta stuff is very like modern. It's very 2016. Everything else about the movie feels like it was made in 2002.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's even
But isn't that a testament to Deadpool as a character, though? Like, he's such a relic of the 90s.
He's
Like,
basically
it's
still
almost-
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, it would make sense that he's behind on the times.
They
but
were
I don't
maybe
think
they're
it's
maybe a little
intentional.
too faithful in that sense.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like I said, like by the time the origin stops getting flashback to, we're like 2/3 out of the movie, and at that point it's just a case of, and I don't know if this is a spoiler, but damsel in distress, go save damsel, and that's it. That's the movie.
Yeah, just finish it off basically.
Yeah.
At that point.
And for me, there's really only two action scenes, really, in terms of big action scenes. There's one that they drag out for ages because it's like between the flashbacks,
Yeah.
and then there's the ending, and that's basically it. So it does feel very, like, it's almost like Fox gave them just enough to do this and no more.
Yeah.
And then, if you're successful, maybe the sequel can have a better budget.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, but I really felt it, you know? I was really aware of it as I was watching it.
Didn't help that they pointed it out as well at times.
They did point it out. Well, I thought the joke, I mean, I don't want to spoil the joke in this half because we're spoiler free,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was a joke about it,
Yeah.
and I thought that was funny. But at the same time, it went beyond that and was actually really prominent through everything in the movie and not just the one thing they joked about.
No, exactly. But it kind of it draws your attention to it more. Is what I mean. Like even for like a more casual viewer who wouldn't necessarily have thought of that.
So so that'll end the spoiler-free section because we need to kind of talk about specifics to really get into the meat of it. So if you've not seen the movie, and if you care about spoilers, thanks very much for watching and or listening, and we'll see you next time. For everyone else, we're in full spoiler territory. You have been warned. I think first of all, let's just say what jokes we liked because I want to mention a few that really cracked me up. Both references to the Warhead girl, one being Ripley from Alien 3 and the other one being Sinead O'Connor. I would do.
Yeah. It's because of her shaved head.
Both of those cracked me up because they were so fucking obscure in terms of references. Because
Yeah.
the Ripley one especially, I was not expecting that.
When he told her nothing compares to you, I lost it. Just because the majority of the audience isn't going to get that as Sinead O'Connor, right? Like, until he calls her Sinead O'Connor, and that was good. I loved when they go to the X Mansion, they ask him about Professor. Someone says something about Professor X.
I like this one. I'm
He
going
goes,
with
Stewart
this.
or McAvoy.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting?
They
It's
go, what?
because
He goes, don't worry about it.
before that, I was wondering whereabouts does this take place in the timeline? Just out of personal intrigue, and then they mention Professor X being bald. So I was like, so is this before timeline with Stewart, or is this post
This would be present day.
Apocalypse. I was like, "What? Where is this?" And then they actually went, "Oh, Stuart McAvoy." I was like, "Damn it! Now I have no idea."
Well, I would just say it's present day. I'd say it's before Apocalypse, but no, I'll be post-apocalypse because Apocalypse is set in the 80s. But you know what I mean? It's after the end of Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So in the new
Wolverine
timeline
shows up and everything's been reset.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer's Beast again for no reason.
Yes. Beast gets referenced. I actually was surprised they even showed the mansion. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, the first time they showed it, I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, and what does he call it? Neverland Ranch. At one point, Mutant Neverland Ranch.
I can't remember.
There's so many. Like, I love the X-Men references that were going on, and when he says that, we were supposed to get another one, but we didn't have the budget for it, for another X-Men.
No, that's not what he says. He goes to the house and he's like, this is a really big house. It's weird that I'm only seeing these two X-Men. It's almost as if Fox didn't give us the money for another X-Men.
Yeah. That's it.
So that was a good joke, but the fact that the budget was felt really tight elsewhere in the movie, it kind of was like, nah. I did like, this was a really random reference, but I liked that after TJ Miller's character meets the villains, he says, "Have fun at your midnight screening of Blade 2. That cracked me up, because that's kind of one of my complaints about the movie, is that it feels like it's of that era.
Yeah.
It really does. So that was a really on the nose, but like, yeah.
It's kind of like they know that it's that like old and dated, but they're like, "Well, we've got it. We've just got to go with it."
Which doesn't excuse it for me, but I at least laughed at the joke. I like that. I was not expecting a Fawlty Towers reference.
No.
Yeah.
Are you Basil Fawlty? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's great. Speaking of Pythons, my favourite bit was the reference to the Holy Grail Black Knight sequence. On point, cracked me up.
Oh my god, when he kept punching and kicking at Colossus.
Yeah.
I
lost it. That killed me. It really did.
Also, it was in the trailer.
He's back. Potentially.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
But it was in the trailer, but when Colossus is giving him the talk to of all the chaos, and he goes, "That guy was up there when I got here." After the guy falls. I think that's the hardest I laughed in there, just because of the timing, and it takes advantage of Ryan Reynolds, who is a funny guy. Like, in comedies, he's always very charming and quick, and I felt that they did get the Deadpool voice of the break the fourth wall and all that,
Yeah, actually, I really liked the running gag of him making fun of Hugh Jackman. That was
that one at the end. It was great.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, the humor is really not the problem in the movie. That mostly works. It's kind of just the
everything
stuff.
else.
Yeah, it's everything else.
It was kind of also for a character that's a mercenary. He doesn't fire his guns that often. Like, they make that a gag too. That he's constantly leaving his weapons back.
Which apparently was a budget reason. That's why he left the weapons back.
Of course, yeah. And then the sword stuff, which I thought should have been better handled, But, yeah, like Peter was saying in the non-spoiler thing, the action sequences are kind of a letdown outside of those two.
I quite like the first one more. I think the first stuff on the bridge.
Yeah.
I like that
really good. Well, the bullet countdown, too, was pretty
that's fantastic, yeah. When you see that dude's head go flying off, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they did push the R rating limit.
I almost felt they did that too much. Not so much with the violence, but I felt like the fact that they walk through a strip club and there's just tits kicking about. Like, I felt like, you're just doing this because you can. Like, that's.
Well,
but when you've already got the R rating, it's like, well, fuck it.
Right. Well, then the sight gag with Gina Carano's character as her boobs hanging out, and Colossus as being like a Boy Scout. I just thought, like, he does have the R rating, and you're covering this up. I get why, but like it didn't gel with the rest of it. Still funny, and all that line about her too, and poking fun at her character, I thought was pretty good. But yeah, it was kind of I don't want to say it's a letdown because I still enjoyed myself, but when I left, I was kind of disappointed. I didn't enjoy it more. Like, I felt like Colossus was underused for them to make such a big deal of him in the trailers.
He also looked a bit iffy as
It
well.
looked good. Yeah, he looked ropey, as you guys would say.
But
But yeah,
It's I don't know. Like I say, the humor made it easy enough to watch, but like every time it flashed back, because I feel like it flashed back for a long time. Some of those times, like it would cut
Yep.
from that bit in the bridge to part of the origin, and it would be ages of setting up the next thing. And
there was only one of the flashbacks that I really felt dragged. Some of them I actually quite enjoyed, and some of them were just like, whatever, I can take or leave it. But
which one? Yeah,
the one where he actually gets his powers, he's getting tortured and stuff. Oh my god, that one seemed to go on forever.
yeah.
Just no.
And it's almost like with
Yeah.
Deadpool, I'd rather they just did the equivalent of what old comic books used to do, where the origin would just be the first page, like, and that'd be
Yeah.
it, done, right, on your adventures as the funny wisecracking.
Yeah, but I feel like the origin plays a part in the ending, though, too. You know, so with the way that they structured the story, they really couldn't do that. You know, but I will say I did love the romance angle in it. You know, I felt that him and
Yeah,
Miranda
that was pretty good.
Yeah, well,
You know.
I like her. Like, I mean, obviously I like her because
Well, I thought the story was handled well too, because you really did feel like he only had eyes for her. You know, and he did feel like he couldn't go back to her because of his condition. You know, but yeah, I mean that was pretty good. They were pretty enjoyable. Plus, her playing a hooker flashes back to Anara a little bit.
very different type of hooker, but
Yes, but still, you know. But yeah,
it's, I don't know. It was fine enough as I was watching it, but it was once I left, I was like, do I really want to watch that again? Like most superhero movies, I'm kind of like, oh, I'll definitely buy that in Blu-ray. I'll watch it every so often. With this
Yep.
one, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I really want to.
I mean, yeah, I will watch it again to catch more of the jokes, but I'm not going to rush out this weekend. You know, I'm off tomorrow, and I'm not. Usually, I'd pencil in like, let's say an Ant-Man had came out this weekend instead of over the summer. I would definitely be using tomorrow to go see Ant-Man again.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that man twice,
Yeah, you know,
and
but like,
I'm not going to see this a second time. Batman v Superman, good or bad, I'm probably going to see it at least twice.
I mean, as far as the Marvel movies go, the only one I've seen twice is Ant-Man, and that was only because I was in a bad mood the first time. I wanted to give it a fair shot.
yeah,
But I'm definitely going to watch this again when it comes out on home release because, again, like I said, there's so many jokes that I know I didn't catch all of them because I'm laughing through some of them. And I came out of this and I had a good time. Like I really enjoyed watching it, and it felt like just a feel good movie, just to have some fun with for an hour and a half.
I did see one insane statement that said, "This is better than any of the X-Men movies, and it's better than any of the Marvel movies." And I'm like, "Fuck off! No, it's not."
Okay, no, I enjoyed it, but it's
that person's an idiot. And if you did say that, come at me because, come on now.
it's better
Yeah.
than like at least half of the X-Men movies.
Well, what did you guys think of the end credits stuff?
I was pretty sure it was going to be him poking fun of.
Yeah, that was pretty. You
Yeah.
could see that coming a mile away.
I loved the Ferris Bueller reference.
Yeah.
And Ashley just looks at me because the whole, why are you still here? Go home. And I'm saying it before he does because I don't think they're going to do it word for word. And he does it. And then just the nonchalance of, oh yeah, Cable's going to be in the next one. Yeah. Get ready. Like,
And then you have everyone there going, "Who's Cable?" Because
Yeah.
everyone's there because Deadpool's suddenly
Yeah.
popular. But
and it
no
makes
one knows
sense
who it is.
though. I mean, because Cable and Deadpool was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
They're both created by Liefeld. So,
And maybe Deadpool, maybe Cable will be played by Mel Gibson or Keira Knightley.
I'd totally watch that. Not gonna lie.
I forgot about that till just now. They're the same.
Sure, they're exactly.
Because as they say that, they're the same.
Although Stephen Lang is apparently campaigning on Twitter for the role, and to be
Why
honest,
not?
he looks the part. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They could bulk him up. Like, he doesn't have to be million pockets Cable.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, just give him pouches everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's
That's the rugged future war. What if they got Michael Biehn to play Cable?
Well, it would be good, but I'd rather than not waste Michael Biehn on
Yeah.
that.
It's not like he's busy, Pete, right now. I mean,
Hey, he's got Blomkamp's Aliens movie.
soon after Ridley's done with his thing.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want more
no,
Michael
Stephen
Biehn
Lang,
stuff.
I could see as Cable. That'd be good. Like I don't have an inherent hatred of Cable like other people that we know do.
Oh yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't think I've ever actually read anything with
Yeah,
Cable
that's
in it.
that's
So
exactly. And the stuff I have wasn't terrible. Like the mid 2000s X-Men stuff with Hope wasn't, it was decent. But I definitely get he's one of those 90s characters where in Kingdom Come, Mark Waid with Magog was poking fun at. Because if you look at Magog and you look at Cable, they're essentially the same. Just one wears a helmet with horns on it. So,
exactly what Cable was missing.
yeah.
All right, I think that pretty much wraps us up. Then I don't think there's much more left to say.
Uh,
I thought the villain was shit. I thought most of the origin kind
To
of.
be fair, I find that with almost even all the Marvel Studios movies, like I come out and go, villain was pretty shit.
No, but I think this one was even more shit because at least some of them have a good look to them.
well, I didn't even get, like, so they make a big deal. I know we're trying to wrap up, but I gotta touch on this. His power is that he can't feel pain, right?
Yeah.
And that almost never comes into play. Like,
To be fair,
they-
before they tell you that, and he's on the bridge stabbed through with the sword, I was wondering, like,
Right.
why is he not reacting to this?
but see, I figured he just had a healing factor like Deadpool,
Yeah,
right?
but-
Because that's what X specializes in. So I just figured he's healing, and that's why. And then it never really comes into play. They could have had some fun with that. Like, in that Bond movie, that wasn't very good, where you have the character that couldn't feel pain.
Mm,
The Diamond Face guy, they did
Yeah.
the same type of thing, and they had fun with that, with the different types of shit he took, and just kept rolling. But, yeah, he was such a waste of that. Although I did love Gina Carano's character. She almost makes up for it. She's kind of the generic strong henchman.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, he was. I gotta agree with Pete too. That generic villain, but different than the Marvel generic villain.
Yeah,
Because at least they're developed.
this was generic early 2000s villain to put it back in
Yeah.
that perspective. And Marvel at least usually have someone with an interesting look, if nothing else.
I'm surprised they didn't try to tie it into Stryker at all. Because it is an X-Men movie.
I think
And
they
the
were.
weapons.
I think that was even for them too scared of pushing it towards Origins.
I guess, but with Days of Future Past, they brought back Stryker.
Oh, did you like the toy of the shitty Deadpool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing we didn't even touch on. All the shots he was taking at himself for Green Lantern and Deadpool and Origins and being the sexiest man alive.
I like
know,
that. I thought that was
yeah.
pretty funny.
So, but yeah, no, I definitely like Ryan Reynolds. Like, he definitely comes out.
He
I just
definitely
feel
owns
like-
the role.
Yeah. And that's good.
Alright, so that's Deadpool. So we were kind of... I landed at a 6 out of 10. I think it's funny, but not much more going for it.
Yeah, I'd go about a 7.
I gave it an 8 because being funny's enough for me.
Yeah, but you're awful, so that's fine. Let's move on then to wrapping things up. So you can let us know what you thought of the movie down below in the comments if you're on YouTube. You can also email us at mailedfuzz@gmail.com. Tweet at us at mild_fuzz on Twitter. You can also find all of us individually on places. Connor, where can people find you if for some reason they've had their head bashed in and are feel inclined to actually seek you out?
Hey, I have some crazy thoughts, but they're fun to listen to, and you can listen to those on Twitter at ConnorRyan94, and you can also find me on Letterboxd for that as well. And you can also find me doing the video games podcast here on the network, which is 1080-bit, and you can find that live on Twitch on Saturdays at twitch.tv/PeterBradley89, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 Eastern and 11 Pacific.
Matt, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at MatterofSteel57 and on the I almost forgot the name of the podcast. Seth Happens, the Mild Fuzz Star Wars podcast, which we'll find time.
Yeah, I mean that'll have an episode in 2016. We're pretty
Yeah.
sure of it.
Ish.
So you can also find me on Twitter and other social media at Wibble89. You can also find me on other shows here on the network. I've mentioned a horror podcast before, Screams After Midnight. That's on the same channel on YouTube, Male Fuzz Movies. Head over to Male Fuzz TV for all the weekly TV reviews of all the different shows that we watch. if you want to. And of course, everything that we talk about is available on iTunes and Stitcher as audio downloads because, that's a podcasty thing to do. But of course, if you don't care about any of that and you just want to come here for movie reviews and trailer talks and whatever else we do, that's fine too. We appreciate it greatly. So keep watching movies, guys, and we'll see you next week.